Welcome back, everybody, to the WCA EU Pro Qualifier. We are in the losers match, and we have two German teams facing each other. And in this case, we have the lead for Kinguin. On Garden of Terror, they were able to win the first map, and of course, especially that last go and battle for the core was pretty impressive. Now we're heading into Cursed Hollow, which is going to be map number 2, the map choice on this side from Team ROCCAT. And let's find out what they are going to draft, because we are already ready to find out which heroes are going to be played in game number 2.
Yep, and the very first band coming out from ROCCAT going to be the Abathur. Once again, this is another map that Abathur does exceptionally well on. It's a very large map. He can split push. He can jump on people to help them out. And ROCCAT were the ones who were running it last time, and it did okay. Like, it got a lot of XP, but not enough to bring them back into it. But it is still a very safe ban for the early picks in this map.
It definitely is. Abathur is great on this map, and the teams are trying to get him out as fast as they can. In this case, we're also having, of course, the ban on Zeratul once again, which is important too. We're currently seeing the first pick, and Jaina is really valued by most of the teams very highly right now. So we could see a Hearthstone on the side of their opponents. Kinguin might try and go for the Fire Mage here. Oftentimes, these two mages end up on different sides of the draft. But they have a few other heroes that they could prioritize here. First of all, we have a tank. We know that ROCCAT is very fond of Johanna, so Kinguin could decide to go into Johanna themselves. The last time they prioritized Illidan, and they do it again. They go for Illidan right away and say, like, okay, this is our first priority. Lock the Illidan down, and then we take it from there.
Yeah, but not even going for that support like they did last time. Instead, going straight for that Zagara. Last time, they first picked Illidan, and ROCCAT responded with the first pick of Uther and Abathur. This time, Abathur's already banned out. Kinguin are just like you said, well, we really want Zeratul. Very much a Team Liquid style again here. Just like, we really want him, so you deal with it. And then they were like, well, Zagara's good. We don't need support for Illidan. We'll give him whatever he gets left with. This does mean, though, the Kinguin will not get a pick on a support before ROCCAT have both picked and banned support. But ROCCAT don't even pick one of the Rhaegars or the Uther. Oh, yes, they do.
Double heal.
Double heals. So now they can ban out the Rhaegar as well and really limit Kinguin's options, and that's going to be awesome.
They can force them into a Lily in this case. Brightwing is still very unlikely, but that's definitely the risk that, of course, Kinguin was running by going for Zagara first. One of the main reasons why they went for Zagara is that it's a great hero in general, especially, of course, on maps where you want to have vision. On Cursed Hollow, you can spread that creep, and you can get a lot of value out of them all. But the one thing is that Kinguin just loved to play Zagara, and every single time that they were trying to play Zagara so far, it was banned out. Not only today here at this tournament, but also at the weekend where we had several other tournaments where Kinguin participated. So this time they said, like, no more. We are going to get our Zagara here. And now they have to deal with the fact that there is going to be a ban on Rhaegar, and they will have to go into Lily or Brightwing. They themselves took down Kel'Thas. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to complete their draft under those circumstances.
Yeah, so ROCCAT, it's almost guaranteed to be the Rhaegar ban. We were talking about it, and there it is, the Rhaegar ban. And now, like you said, probably stuck with the Lily or the Brightwing, or maybe they're going to go double support as well and pick both, just so that they have the healing for the Illidan. But we've seen it before. It's almost definitely going to be the Lily, just so they have some kind of healing.
They have to get the Lily in this case, and if they really wanted to go for something like a double support, I would maybe even say a Tacita would probably be a good option
or a
for them again.
From the after level 13, that overflowing light can actually get some pretty nice burst healing, and when you have an Illidan, burst healing is what you need.
You need definitely something. So they're probably going to try and run something else besides the Lily here on the Illidan, but also they need a tank at the front line, and they already know that they can pick the healer later on in the game, since there's no chance that we're going to see a triple heal on the side of ROCCAT. That's just something that you can't make happen in this particular setup. So right now, we are most likely going to see the tank pick for them, and then maybe another damage or utility pick.
Yep, that is quite likely. Kinguin making a long decision about this. They're very far into their time pool. And, like you said, probably a tank, maybe another damage dealer, or one of those utility picks for the Illidan. There's the Anubarak. So I agree with you that Tazadar is probably a very good choice for them here, just for that extra help for the Illidan. Tyrande, another very viable choice for them. They do not need to pick up their Lily now. Or they can go for one of their other damage dealers, for example. It's another big map. Lost Vikings, very Team Liquid style-esque. Just start getting that split XP. Or you can go for something like the Falstad, or something similar. Only your damage dealers, you have to be very careful what you pick, because once again, you're up against double support.
Exactly, and with the double support, it's also going to be interesting what ROCCAT picks, because as you are talking about the Lost Vikings, they're very good on this map in particular, and we have with HotS a very good Lost Vikings player for ROCCAT. It is a double tank setup that we are seeing, very melee heavy right now. This is a little bit reminiscent of what we've just been seeing from MVP Black, the very aggressive setup from the Korean team against Virtus Pro at the last IEM. So right now they could try and do something similar. This is of course also a kind of protection for Illidan, just having those two at the front line and really creating some space for Illidan to work. There's also a lot of stuns and lockdown. The Lily is going to come into play later, but ROCCAT, what are they going to show us now?
Yeah, this double warrior setup does make a lot of sense for Kinguin, because like we said, they're probably going to be stuck with the Lily, and the way Lily's healing works is it heals people based on their percentage of health remaining, and it will always go for the lowest ones. If you have warriors, as a rule, they have a bit more health than everyone else, so they can take a couple more hits. So Lily is less likely to be healing one of those in a situation where Illidan's dived in and the warriors die in. Illidan's going to take damage a lot quicker than his warriors, so in theory, it's going to make him the target of the heal a little bit more, assuming Zagara hasn't been found in the backline.
At this point, ROCCAT running down the time pool a lot. They're really thinking about what they should do here. I don't really think they expected a second tank to be taken in the setup now, so they have to rethink their strategy just a bit. They already have a solid damage dealer in the back line with their Jaina that they have. For the tank, it's very likely that we're going to see a Johanna as probably the most solid pick that they could go for, unless they really want to rely on the Arthurs, because Arthurs, of course, can slow an onslaught down and really lock those targets into place. With a Frozen Tempest, you have another slow approach here. So that's definitely something that they could try and attempt here. But yeah, they have to make that choice. They could even start to go into a double tank themselves just to meet that heavy front line of Kinguin with one of their own.
Well, they're going to first pick up another damage dealer in the form of Nazibo. Spiders just going to completely ignore that evasion from Illidan, just get as much damage as they can. And also, a very good ability for dealing with backlines. Just chuck one of the spiders out of the fight towards that Zagara, and she is suddenly zoned, or has to stand there and tank all the damage while she tries to run forward, just so she can get that Hunter Killer off on Jaina.
Yeah, and with this already, a lot of damage here. Those two healers will definitely have to put their healing abilities to work, since both of them are quite squishy, and you need to make sure that both of them survive here. We have a very aggressive setup with those jumping abilities on the side of ROCCAT, or sorry, on Kinguin, and they were kind of forced into that. ROCCAT waiting a bit with their tank here, apparently making that decision between Arthurs and Johanna. So far, they've been really happy to run Johanna in their setup, but right now, apparently, it's a bit of a longer decision for them, and Arthurs would complement this quite well too.
Yep, they also have the option of going with some of the other tanks. For example, there is a lot of CC on the side of Kinguin, so we're definitely not going to see the Chen. It is a Johanna, but they did, in fact, have the option of... There's not a huge amount of burst damage on the side of Kinguin. They could have gone maybe with the ETC if they wanted that extra kind of lockdown, that extra control to allow Jaina to get their abilities off.
Oh my god. Screw
this
Lily
is Gamers 2 strategy here.
Surrender. I've seen this actually only once, and that was with Virtus Pro when they played it. And they nearly were able to win that, but that is quite something. Going into a solo pick as a support on Tyrande, saying yes, on level 13, she is going to have definitely enough to heal us up. And that is probably also saying that we're going to see a couple of defensive abilities for the tank line here. But picking the Tyrande here is, of course, nice if you think about the things that she brings to the table. Right now, Tyrande can give them, first of all, a protective shield, one of the few heroes that still has one available to her. She has the heal on level 13 with the overflowing light. And also then, of course, the Hunter's Mark. So if you compare that to Lily, you will not get that same healing power. But Mirrodin has Stone Form. You can play him very passive. Anuburak has a lot of passive talents. Could go into the Leeching Scarabs on level 7. On level 1, go for the Regeneration Master. So with that, you have some self-sustain. Probably not going to go into a Blast. You can go Locust Swarm, which is nice to keep yourself alive here. So they have a couple of really nice things to have that sustain without the dedicated healer. And Tyrande, it can work, but it's a gamble.
Yep, Tyrande is basically taking the gamble on, we're hoping we don't need that much healing. Where basically they can take the overflowing light and all that, but the whole point is they engage, they let the warriors and Illidan, in this case, take care of themselves. And she throws out a heal now and again, but the whole point is the stuns, the vulnerables, and she just gets the work done. And like you said, I have also only seen this once, only it was in a different situation where it was, I believe it was during a online tournament where, no, it was at a DreamHack where basically Gamers 2 were banned down to having only one support option. They had the option of Lily and Tyrande, and they picked Tyrande and then went full owl build. And I was very confused, and they lost very hard.
Yeah, that would confuse me as well. With the owl build, you usually don't get that much out
It
there.
was black hearts. Well, like, I guess it was denied the turn-in, but it doesn't really work that way. You need some kind of healing.
Well, they are going to need some kind of sustain, and this is something that Tyrande will have to bring to the table right now. Also, of course, it helps really with the Hunter's Mark to burn down a few of those targets. They have a lot of stun here. They have a lot of engage that they can use, and they will have to bring that to the table, especially on the map like Cursed Hollow. When those Tribute fight starts, then this lineup has to unfold its full strength, or they will fall behind fire. They take a gamble, and let's find out together if it pays off, if they are able to win the second game here on Cursed Hollow, or if we're going to see the 1-1 in the series, the tie here. To the left side of the map, it is once again Kinguin with Nurok on the Nubarak. We have Snow on Illidan. Nepsis playing Tyrande for the team, the healer. Gerdamhead on Muradin, and Invidum on Zagara. They are currently up 1-0 in the best-of-3 series, and to the right side of the map, their opponents. They need a victory here, or they are out of the tournament. They will not qualify, not go to Gamescom. We have Chris on Azebo, Zoc on Johanna for Team ROCCAT, Sport Billy on Uther, HotS on Jaina, and the second healer played by Shadowmar. He's playing Malfurion, so double heal in this case.
So before I ask you to translate the cross-team chat...
Good luck, have fun.
Okay. There's an owl.
Again, the owl. Okay, that's a... Well...
Denying tributes, but where's, like, you could get this reduced hunter killer, which could let Illidan kill quicker.
The thing is, like, the level 13 talent is the most important one on Tyrande if you really want to go for the heal. So that's the one where they really have to bring this one in. If you want to deny the tributes, then you can go for it. Given the setup that they have, we don't really see that range burst damage, so going into that talent might not be the best choice. The one thing that they give up, on the other hand, if they really go for Pierce now on level 4, is the protective shield. That is one of those things where that's a choice that you don't really want to make, to be honest. I mean, it's very, very tough to give this one up.
Yeah, Sport Billy, you basically acting as a mobile ward there. We do see, though, out of this, the good old-fashioned, we've been waiting for it all tournament, now we see it with Tyrande as the dedicated support, the Muradin Tyrande roaming squad with the Tyrande as the main support, so she's basically also acting as a mobile ambulance.
Yeah, but she's at the same time also not using the perfect talent to really have that roaming squad work in the way that it usually does, but still, they can do some damage with this. The double heal setup is usually something that really comes into play in the later stage of the game. At the beginning, if you are running without a support, you normally have a lot more damage on the board, so you can really utilize that. But then later on, those healers get more and more powerful as they get increased healing numbers and can out-heal some of their damage. But yeah, this is going to be a super interesting game, and it's a huge gamble that Kinguin took here.
Yeah, Invidium throwing down this Hunter Killer on to Haswell's, but he's able to just really quickly retreat behind the wall. We can see both teams just acting very passively here, and Nebza and Gerdamhead are waiting for this due to the fact that they want to get that huge engagement the second.
Somebody should report them for being AFK, because like these guys are clearly not playing.
This is true. They are just, they've both gone. There's Gerdamhead moving forward, trying to get Chris, but ROCCAT, they don't see these two, and they are the roaming squad, so they were like, well, we're just not going to come too far out. Soke, the only one really away from his gate here because, well, he's Johanna, and he can just tank anything. Sport Billy and HotS have been doing this easy camp for a while. They finished that up, and they can now come up here to help fight for this tribute. Malfurion and Soke will be able to deny this for quite a while.
Yeah, up here at the top, we have again Johanna moving back, Shadowmar with a good heal, and the root against the Nubarak, and also Muradin. But that tribute, oh, nice Moonfire that we saw in the last second, but at the same time, the stun again, and down goes Malfurion. And one of the healers already out. They don't get the tribute just yet, but we have Snow jumping straight for HotS Jaina.
Yep, HotS having to back up out of here. Uther gets the stun off onto Illidan to slow him down a bit. Dodges a stun from Tyrande, but is now body blocked. Jaina trying to do as much as he can. Drop the Cone of Cold. There's the Blizzard, but Uther does still go down. There's the stun from Gerdamhead. The tribute still not being taken yet. Soke is being very annoying, able to deny this for quite well, but he has to back up. He's very outnumbered. And this tribute will go over to Kinguin.
As expected in the early game, Kinguin stronger than ROCCAT. Those double healers will be annoying later on, but usually when you go without a healer in the early game, you have really a power phase. This is where they have to make some plays, and they're doing exactly that. They get the tribute, they get 2 kills, and they're starting to take down the walls here, whereas we're seeing Elune's Grace taken on Malfurion as his next talent. So Shadowmar with the extended range now, and also in this case the Snowstorm for Jaina, which is actually smart considering that we have this many melee heroes on the opponent's team.
Yeah, but and that does have a mean she's ignored both of the mana regen talents, but that does mean she does have one other, which is the Icy Veins at level 13, which would mean she wouldn't be taking her Ice Block, which could be a problem.
We also have a Malfurion in the game that could give her just a bit of mana.
Very true. So she may just be trying to work around that. And who else do you give the mana to other than Nazeebo, who is taking the Death Ritual? So he's going to have quite a nice mana pool in general.
Yeah, and we have now more stuns coming to play. Of course, if we're talking about stuns, there is at least one Stormbolt talent. It's the Piercing Bolt, and this one is going to be great for those team fights. Again, level 7 now for the teams, and we have once more the Tribute spawning on the map.
Well, we have an interesting talent coming in from the Jaina here. Frost Armor. Nurok getting stunned up, but he is fine. Frost Armor. Heroes that attack you are chilled automatically every 8 seconds, and you block their basic attack. Quite a decent talent against Illidan, but not one we see ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually really smart against an Illidan. This is going to be an interesting one here. Once again, we have Gadam here starting to jump in. He needs to be careful as Mirrodin jumps away. Hazorps is trying to pursue him, and another good Blizzard. Sport Billy and Shadowmare are starting to go for the tribute.
Though, so annoying, preventing Team ROCCAT from grabbing this tribute. For now, Soccer has actually just pushed into this Bruiser camp as it was aggroed accidentally. And teams splitting up here to get their XP. This tribute not going to be denied, and it is now 1 tribute to 1. Chris running into Gurdenherd, though he's on his own. Soccer going to come down and defend him, though.
Yeah, Gadamhead is still here. Soccer is moving in. Chris gets healed by Sport Billy. And we have already up at the top lane Illidan again going for the fort. But Shadowmare is there for the defense.
But it is Malfurion, and Malfurion not well known for his huge defense. There's the root, though. That will catch Illidan, but he is still life-stealing off those minions. The fort now is attacking him. So his auto attacks are slowed, and Shadowmare's trying to make the most of this by kiting him as best possible. And Snow finally is like, yeah, I give up, and uses that wall to jump to freedom.
And of course, the B-back by Shadowmare, as we're seeing a camp taken now in the mid lane. So Invidorum together with Napster taking a camp here. They're going to start to put some pressure in.
Oh my God.
Again, they have a bit of an advantage here in experience. And this could actually translate in an earlier level 10. And it's a great timing for them. Since the tribute currently comes up at the bot lane, they already have 3 heroes in position, 4 heroes actually. So they could still soak the bot lane a bit, get level 10. And it doesn't even look like ROCCAT is bothering moving over there.
So how annoyed would you be if you were a Noobrek and both your abilities got cleansed? Because that is the potential for what's going to happen here. He throws out the Impale, and that gets cleansed. Say, for example, he goes on to Jaina, and she gets cleansed. And then he burrows in and is like, okay, all in, guys. And then that gets cleansed. And Jaina turns around, blocks the first couple auto attacks, and does all her damage. Yeah,
it definitely doesn't sound like an ideal situation for a Noobrek. But there's one thing that I really want to talk about. We have on Tyrande. Let's talk a bit about the build here. Yeah. We were worried a bit about her talent choices on level 1 when we saw indeed Empower taken. But the interesting thing is that she gave up on Pierce. The protective shield, we've been talking about it. They don't have a dedicated healer. So giving up on the protective shield for Pierce so that you can always stun out a target that is trying to channel a tribute is a huge risk. But she went for the shield. She went at the same time then also for battle momentum, which is going to help out with also her heals, everything basically later on. It's a very cool build if you really want to get the main support in, but still want to have an opportunity to at least hit 1 owl. It, of course, now can be blocked, but this is exactly the build that I feel she has to go for if she wants to get the most healing numbers out there.
Snow getting focused down here. He has to use Metamorphosis, but Soccer is here. Use the Condemn and the Blessed Shield to hold him still, and Snow gets taken down. Nebs coming in with a stun, but it is far too late.
And talking about healing numbers also again a bit, as we're seeing Illidan, of course, now down for 20 seconds. We're having for Tyrande only 3,000 just now. Nothing really to write home about. Malfurion also the same amount, but they have double healers, so they are sharing the work here. But Tyrande will on level 13 finally get the overflowing light, and with this talent, they might have enough to keep a few of those heroes alive during the battles. But of course, it's also going to be about the next tribute, since on the next tribute is going to be the 3rd one, which is going to be cursing one of the teams.
Yep, Kinguin grabbing their boss, and ROCCAT responding in kind have just started their boss up in that top jungle. They pulled it out quite a bit because they want to be able to stay in that bush, keep vision as much as possible, and with all 5 of them here, they'll be able to clear that up very quickly. On the side of Kinguin, Illidan already heading back to the jungle, doing what he does, while the rest of the team pushes hard because they haven't seen ROCCAT for a while. Where could they be? Their boss has been captured. They know they only had a little bit of time in it, and you can see everyone else starting to play a bit more passively because they now know ROCCAT are on the map.
Yeah, bot lane is being pushed by one boss, the top lane by another, but the mid lane, that's where we have the entire Kinguin team. They're taking the wall. They want to go for level 13 right now. This is the important talent for them, since they will finally have a bit more heal in the game. And of course, also it gives Illidan more safety with his evasion talent that he can take here. We have still the Web Blast on Anubarak, not bothering to go into the potential Locust Swarm. They have more survivability, but they have a very tanky lineup, and they take the tribute now. The curse against Team ROCCAT, and they are moving down to the bot lane to drop a keep.
Top 4 did just die to the boss, and like you said, Kinguin do want to try and get that keep as much as they can. ROCCAT defending with pretty much everyone other than Johanna, who just finished taking a Bruiser camp. She is now on her way to join this defense. Illidan also made his way over here to help with the push, and Kinguin just looking for anything. They have a talent advantage for a very short amount of time. There's the cleanse on Shadowmare, immediately blocking out that Stormbolt, and we're going to see Kinguin try and take this keep here. ROCCAT looking for the perfect engagement.
There's the double spell here. Soccer moving in, using the trade and condemn. A Starfall being used by Tirana. They're moving in against Gerd. Here. Gerd is trying to jump out here on his Mirrodin. Already, of course, the water elemental once again being used as Nuruk is getting low, but moves away with a burrow charge. Shadowmar healing all the damage out easily, and Roots now also Nubarak, who dies. Wow.
Heard run. He's already used his Dwarf Toss. There's the Shrink Raider, so he gets the stun off, but it's at the cost of his own life. He goes down, and ROCCAT able to hold this pretty easily and have got their own momentum, got their level 13s. And this game is still on, and ROCCAT looking very good to take control of the next tribute and get their curse.
21,000 heal, 23,000 actually, even compared to the 7,700 that we're seeing on the side of Kinguin. And with all the damage shield out, you're of course doing a lot of work here. Currently looking at the bot lane, we are seeing again the Siege Giants taken. And at this point, ROCCAT is really just trying to finally hit level 14 here. They already have their talent, but they're closing the gap in experience just now. And things are just not looking too good for Kinguin. The last few fights have not gone in their way.
Yeah, and we are seeing Jaina here going for the improved ice block on her level 13 just for safety, and just purely going to be relying on Malfurion as her mana source.
Yeah, Malfurion is going to provide the mana for her most of the time. Chris, of course, also running low in mana already. They're starting to put some pressure onto the mid laners at the bot lane. Zagara is dealing with this camp that we're seeing, that the Siege Giants moving in, but Zagara is there dropping the roaches, making also, of course, sure that those Banelings are taking down the mercenary camp as fast as possible.
Yeah, the pressure is still on in the mid lane, though. And what can Kinguin do about this? They are finally on the back foot, and they don't have everyone here. However, there looks like a very nice gank coming up here from 3 members. Illidan, Zagara, and Mirrodin are coming round from behind. They are in the bush, getting ready to try and get someone here. Who are they going to go on to? Looks like it's going to be Soccer and the Jada here, but a stun lands directly onto Illidan.
And we have a Divine Shield already be used for Jaina, keeping her alive. Nuruk is again in trouble as Illidan is going for the Metamorphosis. Starfall is great. Again, here jumps away. He's isolated from the rest of the team, but still gets the Stormbolt in against Jaina. They are retreating again into the safety of the fort.
The heal comes down onto Anubarak, keeping him alive. Illidan having to run backwards out of that Blizzard, as he did have the increased range Blizzard completely on him for most of that fight. And neither team wants to seem to give this up, but Kinguin finally are like, we need to defend this fort, but we can't continue fighting. They're back up to get a Fountain to Anubarak, going all the way back to the Hall of the Storms. Johanna taking a bit of damage here, but Jaina immediately forcing the retreat out of Gurdenherd with that Blizzard.
And there's also another tribute on the map now, and this would be the 3rd tribute for ROCCAT. They are moving in there, trying to get the curse against their opponents. Gerdamhead is there. We are seeing level 16 soon appear for both of the teams. Half a level is missing. Gerd with another good Stormbolt, trying to buy some time. Nuruk moves in, and he can stun Azeba out once again at the channel.
Yeah, we do see Invidium coming in from below. Throws the Hunter-Killer down onto Sport Billy. Anubarak comes in, does not get the stun. There is the Web Blast onto Uther in the backline. So no Divine Shield for the Jaina, but the Ice Block will buy her time for Uther to come back out. And Uther gets his heals off. The Divine Shield is still prepared. It's not even used it yet. Down goes Mirrodin to that Blizzard. And we're seeing Kinguin in full retreat now. Snow taking a lot of damage. Gargantua was chasing him. Invidium has no escape of his own and will get taken down as well. And this will be a tribute and a curse going over to ROCCAT, as well as 2 kills.
The boss is being attacked now, of course. Immediately they can go for it if they want to, but they're already starting to push in at the bot lane. They want to get more kills than that. They're going straight for Illidan and Nebsa again. But Jaina is being attacked. They're forcing pushing her back. In comes Soccer and Sport Billy, but the root is just a second too late. Boss being attacked, and with that curse, of course, they need to make some plays work right now. They have the 16 talent, and just that double heal is so much sustain.
They're going on to Jada here. Jada does get cleansed and is able to back out. And I would like to point out Jaina's talent here, going for the Northern Exposure, not going for the root that might be able to help out. There is the Web Blast onto Jaina, though. And once again, Divine Shield is still available, so she can still stay alive, but no one is going to give chase onto this.
Blizzard for the retreat, but still, they're buying a lot of time. They are down a talent, they were down a few heroes, and now all of a sudden, they are the ones doing the boss at the bot lane. Of course, there's still a camp that's pushing in the fort or against the keep here, but still, that is a very solid position for Kinguin, considering that they lost the last fight and got cursed immediately after. So, very well played here, and ROCCAT just was out of mana, out of hit points, had to rotate back, and now they find themselves at the level behind, but still in a position where they can make a comeback.
True Short Aura has been taken by the Tyrande here, which is going to be very nice for the Illidan, and in this case for the Muradin, who's also gone with Give him the Axe. It looks like they're going to go in here. Uther does get stunned. Zombie Ball did come up to try and prevent that, but it was not enough. Boss is down, but Gurdenherd is in that circle, and the circle's going a little bit red right now. Gurdenherd taking a lot of damage. In comes Illidan with the Metamorphosis as well, trying to do as much as he can, but Snow's on his own in this boss area now. The boss goes over to the side of ROCCAT. So far, Uther, the only one to die, he's not level 20, so he's not going to be revived. Nice ice block from Jaina there to keep herself alive.
Is down. Norok is trying to escape. Chris already in pursuit. But in this game, once again, the Tranquility on Shadowma healing out so much of the damage. And you could really tell that Muradin had also quite some trouble staying alive here. He didn't go for Stone Form on level 16, but went in to give him the axe. A surprising talent, considering that they have quite a bit of damage on the board. Would have expected him to go for the tanky position, but he didn't. He wants to have that extra damage in here and is now dishing it out against the boss. That was a chance for them. It was a trade, one hero for a hero, but the boss, as we can see here, taken by ROCCAT and now taking down the towers at the top lane.
Yep, Nebza getting rooted, but he's fine. Right next to it. The boss from Kinguin got all the way to the core and does wipe out most of the shield, but there's no way they can get to the other side of the map to take advantage of this, and the minion wave is a very long way out, so that shield will have a lot of time to recharge.
Of course, we also saw another Siege Giant camp earlier when the boss was taken to the bottom lane, pushing in against the bottom keep of Team Kinguin. And the wall was lost, but the keep is still alive. Over here, on the other hand, another engagement. Get Up Head is moving in. Zocke is rotating back just for now, waiting for the rest of his teammates.
Yep, they are all here, though, both teams, as 5, preparing for this engagement. And we'd like to point out, even though Kinguin did lose that last fight, they still only lost it for 1 kill to 1 kill, and they were still able to clear up that boss. So they're not in a terrible position. They're still even on talent. And with this tribute being available, both teams could be looking to go for it and get another fight of it. It will not be a curse. In fact, it's far away from a curse as you can get.
Yeah, both of the teams will catch the first tribute here, so therefore Kinguin is just saying, like, it doesn't really matter to us. We are going to close that experience gap by just simply soaking on the lanes, and that's where Illidan is currently busy up at the top. We're seeing the entire roster for ROCCAT in a position, trying to go for a bit of a trap here as the tribute is channeled, but in the mid lane we have Norok making sure that Kinguin is starting to catch up in EXP, and as long as both of the teams are going to be at level 20, it's fine. And keep in mind, it is actually Kinguin who took down the first keep of the game.
It is indeed, and because of that, Nazibo is currently in the bot lane, clearing this up. Illidan is a pretty long way away from his team as well, so these two teams in the mid lane are unlikely going to commit to any kind of engagement, as Illidan is so far away. Nazibo and Johanna are also busy taking the easy camp.
Talking about the heal again, we have a double healer set up against a team that doesn't run a dedicated healer but can only rely on Tyrande. They decided to not go for Lili as Rhaegar was banned out, but they went into Tyrande. And we have now, in terms of heal, 64,000, 65,000 heal on the side of ROCCAT, whereas Kinguin only has 23,000 thanks to their Tyrande. And once again, the battle about to start as the tribute is in there, and Nobarak moving away in the last second, and they are not going to engage again. Is actually moving in from behind.
He's a bit separated, gets the vulnerable from the Northern Exposure from Jada, has to jump away. Leaping Spiders, though, doing a lot of damage, and they drop him low. He has no Stone Form to get his health back. He's being attacked by minions, so his passive won't activate either. So he's out of this fight for a long time now. Gets a heal from the Tyrande to try and get him back into this fight a little quicker.
We're quite sure if they can still fight here. He has as well up down at the bot lane, and that's where he rotates over now. But yeah, they have to give up this tribute, and therefore we already have 2 on the side of ROCCAT. Basically just meaning that for the next tribute, Kinguin will have to make a choice. They kind of have to fight for it. The problem is that by then we could see level 20 ready for ROCCAT, and that would put Kinguin in a very awkward situation.
Kinguin attempting to get XP here. This easy camp has pushed very nicely, but didn't get any towers, so it's not going to give that little XP boost that Kinguin might have been able to use to get level 20 first. They are going very aggressively, though. They want that XP, and they are thinking about getting it from mid-fort, but everyone from ROCCAT is here, and they will push them back.
Yeah, they can move down to the bot lane and try to push this one out, especially as there's currently a camp pushing for ROCCAT. But so far, half the map actually belongs to them. There's that push that we've been talking about. And we have Muradin going for the watchtower. That gives Illidan a bit more safety, since he will know exactly when the opponent is starting to rotate in. But there's the level 20, and now Kinguin is on a clock. They need to get the level 20 before the curse jumps on the map, and oh my god, worst timing for them. We're going to see level 20 in just a second for Team ROCCAT, and then they can fight.
Yeah, ROCCAT just going to clear this mid-wave, and that will mean the wave is nearer to Kinguin, so they might be able to clear it up, but it looks like they're going to ignore the tribute and go for the boss, but ROCCAT know it. And why would they fight us? They're not level 20 yet. They will go for this instead. They're going to roll it as quick as they can. Nice job from Gurdenherd, though. Removing himself from harm's way. No, great devouring more. Catching quite a few members of Team ROCCAT here. But Illidan is chasing onto Johanna, but that's not the target he wants. He has to back away.
Yeah, and once again, they're going straight for them. A nice gamble here by ROCCAT. They're going for the boss now. Sport Wheel is actually rather low. Gary the Gurtrim is nearly dead, but a good Blizzard here to zone them out once again. Gerd thinking about jumping in, but he can't. They take the boss, and Gerd could think about moving up to the top and steal that tribute, but it's already a bit too late. They are about to hit level 20, but this is, of course, a very unfortunate scenario for them right now. They lost boss. It's pushing the bot lane. They're going to get cursed, and then we could see ROCCAT even aim for boss number 2 at the top lane.
Yeah, and they can just get that with ultimate ease, and we're, in fact, going to see them start that. The rest of Kinguin just going to be defending this boss for now. They're not even going to... ROCCAT not even going to take the tribute yet, so they don't need to. Why would Kinguin at all risk going that far out onto the map? Well, actually, Muradin is going that far out onto the map, and he is going to deny this for at least a while. Oh, look where Kinguin are going. They're completely ignoring the boss, and they have to know this. ROCCAT have to know. Gurdenherd just trying to delay as long as possible. He does have his avatar up, so he can delay this.
He's going to try to delay the beams backs, but he can't really do
dodges.
that right now.
There's the bolt. Bolt is gone now, but the rest of Kinguin are pushing into the core. The shield is already gone. They're trying to take it down, but we're seeing ROCCAT be back very quickly. But this core dying so quick. Snow is full health. He does have his ultimate up, so he can get that extra health pool. Core's dropping so quickly. There is the Starfall, and that might be enough. Snow still has half health. Yes, metamorphosis, and they get it. Kinguin with the backdoor, and they will go through.
Kinguin takes the game with a 2-0. They go in for the backdoor. They know perfectly that they have basically lost this game already. As the boss pushes in the bot lane, they know there's a tribute on the map that is going to curse them, and it will give their opponent enough time to even claim the second boss. So all of a sudden, they have a boss pushing the bot lane where they don't have a keep anymore, or where the keep is going to fall. They have one at the top lane. They're going to get cursed. It's level 20. Everything is stacked against them, and they just simply say, guys, the only thing that we can do is go for a YOLO move. They sent Muradin top, trying to delay the B-back for as long as possible. Muradin even dying, like, way too early there. Gerd was a bit too aggressive, expecting them to hit that B button faster, which they didn't, but they still have enough damage. They burst down the core, and it's a 2-0 for Kinguin.
And I don't get how ROCCAT didn't start hitting those B buttons faster, because the second you realize that Kinguin aren't killing the boss, where could they be? They could be contesting you at boss, in which case you could kill them, or they could be backdoor. And you do not see them. You see Muradin. You have very good vision. You didn't see them come up past the minion wave. And suddenly you're in a situation of, oh, they're on our core, when you should have realized it a bit earlier.
They probably thought that it was just a fake.
They
saw the Illidan moving in, and they were like, all right, Illidan is alone. They're trying to fake us out so that we move back, and we just simply go for the boss now. We take it. And when they finally realized what was happening, it was already a bit too late. Muradin at least bought some time.
That avatar did not help him in the slightest, though.
That was, I think especially the choice going in to give him the axe in this situation proved very unfortunate, since, of course, it's all about staying alive a little bit longer. They had the damage, though. I mean, they get the kill in, they take the core, it's a 2-0, and therefore ROCCAT is out of the tournament. ROCCAT is eliminated. Kinguin still has a chance. For us, of course, that means that we are going into the winner's bracket or the winner's match next. We have Na'Vi going up against Fnatic. And Fnatic is running that new lineup of theirs, which was extremely powerful against Kinguin earlier. The winner of this best of 3 will advance to the finals at Gamescom, where we already have Team Liquid and Alternate Fancy. And before this happens, we're going to jump into a short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the first map between Na'Vi and Fnatic.